Zadok was a priest, descended from Eleazar the son of Aaron. He aided King David during the revolt of his son Absalom and was subsequently instrumental in bringing King Solomon to the throne. After Solomon's building of the first temple in Jerusalem, Zadok was the first high priest to serve there. The prophet Ezekiel extols the sons of Zadok as staunch opponents of paganism during the era of its pagan worship and indicates their birthright to unique duties and privileges in the future temple. Hebrew Bible. The Bible states that Zadok was a patrilineal descendant of Eleazar the son of Aaron the high priest. The lineage of Zadok is presented in the genealogy of Ezra as being of 9th generation of direct patrilineal descent from Phinehas the son of Eleazar. Ezra chapter 7 verse 1. See 1 Chronicles chapter 5 verse 30 where he is placed 9th in descent from Phinehas. Zadok, the son of Ahitub, son of Amiah, son of Azariah, son of Meraioth, son of Zerachiah, son of Uzzi, son of Buki, son of Avishua, son of Phinehas. Ezra chapter 7 verses 1-4 in chronological order. Zadok is first mentioned as coming to support David at Hebron. During the rebellion of Absalom, Zadok is mentioned, as he and the Levites wished to accompany the fleeing David and bring along the Ark of the Covenant. But the king instructed them to remain at Jerusalem, where they could do him better service, so that it actually happened that Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok, along with Jonathan, the son of Abiathar, brought the fleeing king a life-saving message. In all these passages Zadok is mentioned in precedence to Abiathar. Both Zadok and Abiathar were functioning in tandem as high priests at the time of David's hasty exit from Jerusalem. But when King David sought advice from the Urim and Thummim by way of Abiathar, a divine response was not given, leading to his dismissal from high priesthood. Subsequently, when Adoniah endeavored to secure the throne, Abiathar sided with him, leading King Solomon to expel him from Jerusalem and reinforce Zadok's high priesthood, who, along with Nathan the prophet, supported King Solomon's accession to throne. Anointing Solomon. According to 1 Kings chapter 1 verse 39, Zadok officiated at the anointing ceremony of Solomon as king. The Hebrew Bible records how before his death, Aaron was accompanied by his brother Moses and his sons Eleazar and Ithamar. Upon entry to the cave where he was to die, Aaron saw his brother Moshe dress his elder son Eleazar with the clothes of the high priesthood, as initiation to high priesthood. Jewish commentaries on the Bible say that this initiation ceremony served as the catalyst for the stipulation that all future candidates of high priesthood be patrilineal descendants of Eleazar the elder son of Aaron and not Ithamar, the younger son. Similarly, the Hebrew Bible relates how, at the time Phinehas son of Eleazar appeased God's anger, he merited the divine blessing of God. Phinehas the son of Eleazar the son of Aaron a priest, behold I give to him my covenant of peace, and will be his, and his progeny after him, covenant of everlasting priesthood in turn of his zealousness for his God, and he atoned for the sons of Israel. Book of Numbers chapter 25 verse 13. In addition, the Tanakh records a new Moses bring forward your brother Aaron, and his sons, from among the children of Israel to serve as priests to me, Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, the sons of Aaron. Book of Exodus chapter 28 verse 1. Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls portray a central role for the sons of Zadok, the priest within the community. The teacher of righteousness named as founder may point to a Zadokite, while the phrase to be as one in following the law and wealth and reconciling the mouth of the sons of Zadok, the keepers of the covenant, from the community rule document suggests that the leaders of the community were sons of Zadok. In rabbinical literature, rabbinical commentators explain that the continuity of high priesthood is put forth to the descendants of Phinehas from this noted verse. According to some rabbinical commentators, Phinehas sinned due to his not availing his servitude of Torah instruction to the masses at the time leading up to the Battle of Gibeah. In addition, he also failed to address the needs of relieving Jephthah of his vow. As consequence, the high priesthood was taken from him and given to the offspring of Ithamar, essentially Eli and his sons. Priesthood transition. Upon the sin of Eli's sons, Hophni and Phinehas, Elkanah prophesied the return of high priesthood to the sons of Eleazar, and I will raise up myself a reliable priest who acts with my heart, and with my soul he will do, and I will build him a reliable household, and he will go before my anointed for all of days. 1 Book of Samuel chapter 2 verse 35. A number of scholars indicate that Zadok was the subject of the prophecy of Elkanah when Zadok of the progeny of Eleazar was ultimately appointed as high priest. Zadok, as a patrilineal descendant of Phinehas, resumed the high priesthood. His sons were Ahimaaz and Azariah, followed by his descendants who held the high priesthood up to the destruction of the first temple and, following the building of the second temple, resumed the high priesthood, as per Joshua, the high priest being of Zadokite lineage. The attempt to trace his genealogy back to Eleazar, the third son of Aaron, as opposed to Abiathar, his contemporary and colleague, who was regarded as a descendant of Eli and considered a member of the house of Ithamar, was first made by the chronicler, thus assuring the preeminence of the Zadokites over the descendants of E. In the beginning of his career he was associated with Abiathar and with his son. The hypothesis has accordingly been advanced that Zadok officiated in the tabernacle at Gibeon, while the sons of Eli were stationed as high priests at Jerusalem or, more probably, at Shiloh. Such a division of functions is very doubtful, however, and it is more plausible to suppose that Zadok gradually won equality of rank with the sons of Eli by his good fortune in gaining the favor of David. According to the chronicler, a certain Zadok, as a young man, had been one of those who joined David at Hebron and helped him win the crown of all Israel. His house then including 22 captains, and Josephus expressly identifies this Zadok with the high priest of the same name. According to the Masoretic Hebrew text, David addressed the priest with the words Ha-Kohen Ha-Roeh-Atter, and the Vulgate consequently regards Zadok as a seer, although this interpretation is regarded by many scholars as incorrect. These two difficult words are amended by Wellhausen to Ha-Kohen Ha-Rosh-Atter, thus implying the promise of the high priesthood to him. On the suppression of the rebellion, the king sent Zadok and Abiathar to the elders of Judah, urging them to hasten to bring the monarch back. Zadok again manifested his loyalty to the king when he espoused the cause of Solomon against Adoniah, and in his gratitude the new king appointed him sole high priest. In his account of this event, Josephus states that Zadok was a scion of the house of Phinehas, and consequently a descendant of Eleazar, the Zadokite dynasty. Historical data show that the high priesthood remained in the progeny of the Zadokites from the time of Zadok up until the rise of the Maccabees. In about 167 BCE, the descendants of Zadok increased in rank and influence, so that his son Azariah was one of the princes of Solomon, and the Ahimaaz who married a daughter of Solomon was probably another of Zadok's children. Either Zadok himself or his grandson was the ruler of the Aaronite priests. And Jerusha, the mother of Jotham, is apparently termed the daughter of Zadok to emphasize her noble lineage, since her father may have been a descendant of the first Zadok. A Rabbi Zadok is also mentioned as saved in Talmud by Yohanan ben Zakkai when he makes his deal with Vespasian. The house of Zadok occupied the high priesthood through much of the Second Temple's time, from Jehoshua ben Jehozadak after the exile, down to Simon II, his eldest son Onias III, and his usurping second son Jason, who introduced the program of Hellenization that eventually led to the Maccabean revolt. Josephus records that Onias IV went to Leontopolis in the Egyptian nome of Heliopolis with a significant following, and for lending military support to the Ptolemaic pharaoh was given land to build a temple to rival the temple in Jerusalem. It has been suggested that Onias or members of his Zadokite house may have also founded the community at Qumran. Sadducee connection. The popular founder of Reform Judaism, Abraham Geiger, was of the opinion that the Sadducee sect of Judaism drew their name from Zadok, with the leaders of the sect proposed as the sons of Zadok. However, based on Chazalic sources, the origination of the Sadducee group initiated in tandem with the Boethusian group, with their founders, Zadok and Boethus, both being individual students of the Antigonus of Soko, who preceded the Zugat era during the Second Temple period. Chazalic literature took a dim view of both the Sadducees and Boethusian groups, not only due to their perceived carefree approach to keeping to written Torah and oral Torah law, but also due to their attempts to persuade common folk to join their ranks. Maimonides, in his treatise to Pirkei Avot, views the Sadducees as Gonvei Daat of the greater Jewish nation and of intentionally negating the Chazalic interpretation of Torah. Likewise, in his Mishneh Torah treatise, the Rambam defines the Sadducees as harming Israel and causing the nation to stray from following God, considering the lack of Chazalic documentary indicating a connection between Zadok the first high priest and Zadok the student of Antiochus of Soko. Along with the 13-plus generations between the two Zadoks, rabbinic figures tend to put a damper on that association. Additional aspects disproving that association include a Chazalic mention that the Sadducee and Boethusian groups favored using vessels of gold and silver, whereas the common vessel usage of priests, to negate transmission of impurity, were typically of stone. Other theories. Some have speculated that as Zadok does not appear in the text of Samuel until after the conquest of Jerusalem, he was actually a Jebusite priest co-opted into the Israelite state religion. Harvard Divinity School professor Frank Moorcross refers to this theory as the Jebusite hypothesis, criticizes it extensively, but terms it the dominant view among contemporary scholars, in Canaanite myth and Hebrew epic essays in the history of the religion of Israel. Further support for the Jebusite hypothesis may be drawn from Zadok's participation in the conspiracy among native Jerusalemites, including Nathan and Bathsheba, that displaced the non-Jerusalemites' senior heir to King David's throne, Adoniah, in favor of Bathsheba's son Solomon, thus hijacking the throne and succession for the party of the conspirators. Elsewhere in the Bible, the Jebusites are described in a manner that suggests that they worshipped the same God as the Israelites. In the case of Melchizedek, further support for this theory comes from the fact that other Jebusites or residents of pre-Israelite Jerusalem bore names invoking the principal or god Zedek. Under this theory, the Aaronic lineage ascribed to Zadok is a later, anachronistic interpolation.